telling as to who is playing what. And it does look to be the case that we do have Josh going first on the Fire King Snake Eye. This is something that he is no stranger to. This is something that we've seen from him time and time again. We said last year, World Championship, he was the team captain. Again, he was the one playing this deck. But right now, certainly no stranger to playing into a Max C, that's for sure. Sacred Fire King Garunix now going to respond to that. However, the Fire King deck, it does have ways through this. It does have ways to respond.
That is very, very good for Elgardian Celta, though, because that was what Colossa really was lacking in her first round match against Josh. She had, like, those powerful cards like Forbidden Droplet and so on, but she really lacked the ability to, like, limit the field, limit the potential of Josh there. But because now Josh, he'll have to decide. I don't think he's going to put up as big of a field as he did in the first game.
Exactly. You want to stop them from committing to that established field that will just run disruption after disruption, negation after negation.
Indeed.
And Max C goes a long way to facilitating that. And it does look to be the case that will be the case here, because you have just 2 set spell and traps. No draws granted off the Max C, though. Josh, it could feel worse. It could also feel a lot better, though. But still not the worst start for the Fire King Snake Eye deck.
Okay, the legendary Fire King Ponix returning to the hand. But if Elgardian Celta starts things off here with a possible Lightning Storm or Happiest Feather Duster, it might be going to his direction very, very, very quickly. Or is it maybe going to be the activation of a Legendary Ocean with Elgardian Celta? You truly never know.
Friendly reminder that both these duelists are 1-0 in the group, and as Leonard did kindly mention, going 2-1 is going to presumably be enough to get out here based on the format, and therefore they do have the luxury of maybe being a little bit more overcommittal in their plays, maybe looking to try and score an upset victory here for Elgardian Celta, or just look to close this one out for Josh. But right now, the Tempai Dragon not getting interrupted so far. Granted, that was a difficult one to respond to. This one, however, much easier. Tempai Dragon Pydra going to be answered by an Infinite Impermanence.
Is there a Forbidden Droplet? Yes, there is. We're going to clear that Pydra off the field. Here, the part about negating the opponent's monster is not the important one, but the part about getting your own card off the field to dodge that Infinite Impermanence there is the more important one. So we're halving the Garunix, but more importantly, we're also resolving our Tempai Dragon Pydra, and which card is it going to get for us? I'm guessing... oh, we're searching for Sangen Kaiman, yeah.
Didn't have to guess in the end, because Sangen Kaiman immediately added to the hand. Do we have an access to Sangen summoning? And in turn, do we have a response to it from Josh?
Battle phase,
as you said. So we could very well see just the Sangen Kaiman immediately activated. Double on the effects here. You get the level 4 or lower Fire Dragon monster from the deck to the hand. You get to summon this Tempai Dragon Chandra that has been added. And you potentially get to overwhelm this Fire King Snake Eye deck in the battle phase with the Tempai Dragon.
Let's see, though. There is Fire King Skyburn, and that is a vulnerable field right now. Usually, Tempai Dragons in the battle phase are very well at dodging effects because they can just chain their Synchro Summoning stuff, but when there's only one Tempai Dragon monster on the field, it's tough to Synchro Summon with it, and therefore Joshua had a good way to play around that Maxi, as he already had that Skyburn there hard drawn in his hands.
And Josh, in that initial post-game interview, did mention just how well the Fire King deck extends through a lot of disruption. It has play after play after play, but this play has been swiftly answered by another Infinite Impermanence, this time from Elgardian Celta. This time, there's no dodge from Joshua, but is there anything else this Tempai Dragon deck can do before it ends the turn? No. Turn 3, you never want to see this as Tempai Dragon.
That's true. It's kind of funny, though, negating the Ponix there, because honestly, I think the potential out of that Ponix was quite little, as we already had the Fire King Island, and we also had the Skyburn used there in the battle phase. Therefore, I think the only card we really would have been searching there was the Sanctuary, and Sanctuary, you don't really need that card anymore when you already have Fire King Island on the field. Therefore, I don't know whether I really needed the Infinite Impermanence on it. And Josh did not really even seem phased by it, as we just keep on activating the island, destroying the Ponix, using the Runix in the graveyard. And that is the beauty of this Fire King strategy. It's so incredibly consistent. It keeps on returning with the big monsters to the field.
And Fire King Avatar Avata in the hand as well does suggest that Josh will have access to at least one additional negation if Elgardian Celta is allowed another turn. It's a big ask depending on where this Fire King deck does go. We haven't seen the Snake Eye card yet. We could very well see it very, very shortly, and it could very well spell the end of this duel in favor of Josh. Right now, though,
is destroyed.
Yep.
That means we are about to destroy that set card from Elgardian Celta there as well. What was it? What is it? It was another Forbidden Droplet. Of course, a card you can only use once per turn, so you don't want to draw multiples of it. And very noteworthy, we're playing double Fire King Skyburn. So that's something all the other players maybe in the tournament will have to take note of.
Deception of the Sinful Spoils. Now, it's not a Snake Eye card by name, but it may as well be based on where we're going here. Just additional engine pieces to accompany the Fire King deck, accompany the Snake Eyes, accompany everything Josh could possibly want here. Murcielago going to be activated in the extra deck, going to be summoned to the field. Really looking scary here, really looking like Josh can close this one out. Elgardian Celta, one card in hand. Is that one card enough to run Disruption on this? The Tempai Dragon, we said, doesn't want to go to turn 3. It's currently turn 3 main phase 1, but can it even survive turn 3 battle phase here once Josh does reach it?
I mean, we do have the Avatar on the field, so even in Nibiru, which at this point is getting closer to being able to activate because we're summoning and summoning and summoning monsters here, would not be able to resolve as we can just swiftly negate it with the Avatar. There
Wanted Secret Simple Spoils. Yep, as you said, Diabellstar the Black Witch going to be added to the hand. We will eventually summon that, you have to imagine. But speaking of summoning, here is Azamina Ilia Sylvia for yet another negation and yet another 1900 points of damage just added onto the equation for Josh here. Banishing the Wanted Seeker of Sinful Spoils. Shuffling back, drawing one, extend, extend, extend. We said just how resilient the Fire King Snake Eye strategy is, how much it can just develop one card into so many different ways to seal the deal on a duel, and it looks like that will exactly be what Josh is doing here. But
look
Nibiru,
at it!
the primal being.
Nibiru. Josh now, Joe, just using the effect of Azamina Ilia Sylvia, doesn't even need to use the Avatar as the Ilia Sylvia does it just as nice. And we have so many attack points already on the field here. Is that like those 3 monsters alone are close to closing this game out? And now there's the original Sinful Spoils as well. Just battle phase. That should be just over 8,000 points of damage. Attacking with the Garunix for game. Joshua Schmidt stays winning.